death of relationship dumbassification. A thought-provoking conversation with the voice of reason. An exploration into why you and your girl just can't relate. The world is tuned in to the voice of reason. Blowing up the Foxxhole every Thursday evening. If your man is tripping, then talk to Zoe before you leave. Maybe y'all can make it work, and if not, he can tell you exactly how to tell him to kick rocks. Intelligence with lots of comedy. It's not your average show. It's ZoWilliams, the voice of reason on Foxxhole Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zometheus Rising has returned to the Foxxhole. You're listening to Sirius 106 XM 149 Foxxhole Radio, ZoWilliams, voice of reason, and tonight's topic is absolutely out of control. You know how we do. You got to get to your phones. 877-2-106-106 is the number to dial. My topic for tonight, you guys listen very carefully. Pay-per-view. Is your child's visitation based on consistent compensation? In other words, if you're not current with your payments, you don't get to play, you don't get to see your kids, right? Parental alienation because you late with the dough. 877-2-106-106 is the number to dial. I'm about to take a quick break. But if you don't get to your phones, I know there's some people out there who are experiencing and living this right now. Pay-per-view. Is your child visitation based on consistent compensation? Call me. I'll be back in a second. Pay-per-view. Do you have to pay to play with your kids? Huh? What happens when you're late? Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to ZoWilliams, voice of reason, Foxxhole Radio, Sirius 106, XM 149. The phone number, 877-2-106-106. We're talking about pay-per-view, paying to play to see your kids. I know there's some horror stories out there. Tonight is your night to talk about it. We have in the building an upwardly mobile sister, beautiful sister, just barely 30, owns her own law firm, family law firm. She knows the game that we seem to be lacking in this custody visitation battle. She's going to provide all the answers you need tonight. Her name is Demetria L. Graves. Speak to them about your law offices, ma'am.
Well, thank you, Zoe. I have my own family law practice in Glendale, California. You can check it out at www.attorneygraves.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know how I do. I have a question that I put out, and this is the question of the night. I want you brothers out there, sisters out there, to reach out to me at 877-2-106-106 and let me know exactly what you think of tonight's question. Respond to it. Do women/mothers make better custodial parents than men/fathers? That's our question of the night. I implore you to reach out and let us know what you think and share your thoughts. And like I said, Demetria L. Graves is here tonight to share information. It's a resource center tonight at this relationship help desk. Right, Demetria?
Right.
Great. So let me give you my perspective. I think in America they put too much emphasis on money. That's not the only currency a mother and a father can provide to their kids. You can have a father that has money that pays and gives his money up or whatever, but is deficient in the emotion currency. Doesn't connect to the child emotionally. Doesn't connect to the child philosophically, doesn't have an idea or a belief system for the child to believe in and pattern himself after, right? One of my friends who does studies in gender, he talks about the emotionalist provider as it relates to black men in America. The guy who, he will pay for things, he will provide everything for you, but he's not going to connect to you emotionally. He's not going to, you know, motivate you to do things. He's just going to, hey, man, this is my responsibility, this is my obligation. right? To me, that's a currency that might be more valuable than finance. 877-210-6106. That's the number to dial. Pay-per-view. We've got callers. Jamie Foxx has just sat down. Talk to me.
You know what? I'm going to speak to that. I'm going to speak to paying things away. There is an interesting thing. You ever want to get rid of somebody, like in my life? Give them $2,500 and then say, could I get that in 30 days back? You'll never see them again. $2,500. I am in the clear. You'll never, ever see them again. It'll be eons before I see them. And what you will get into is that sometimes, especially if you have cash, you will feel like paying really solves the problem. And I've had a situation where, like, I dropped 20 grand. Yo, this is for you. But I really emotionally wasn't there. And she said, you don't get it, do you?
It's not that.
It means absolutely nothing because they know you have it. They know you can, and they know what they can smell it. Most women, and it's tough because we live in a city that's not like probably where most of our listeners are. I mean, if you're in the Midwest, if you're in the South now, if you're where it's, hard-working blue collar, which I still give shout out to blue collar. That's another thing too. We'll talk about later on. But in this city, it is a little different because they do know that if I do get that one and I do get that child, I'm in the clear. So there are women out there that do that, which is amazing to see. Right. It's an amazing thing.
Give me an example.
But I mean, because we're about to launch a show that's actually called Damage Control, and what it is, it deals with the sports entertainment world, where there are girls that have done all the way from the turkey baster to where the guy, I guess, climaxes and she saves it. Right. I mean, all these different things because they know there's a check
at the end of the rainbow.
And that's the thing is, and that speaks to our society now because all we think about is money. I mean, we were just having this. Let me get focused. We were just having this conversation just a minute ago about how much we put on money. Like we use the kids for the money. We use the divorce for the money. Anything that happens to us, how much you get paid. I slipped on the song. Like, what the insurance? Yeah. Everything that we do, if someone, even if a child is harmed, or if some lady is assaulted, or anything, it's always how much money does it take to make you feel good about it. Well, what happened? Well, man, she severed her arm. But she got 30 million.
Right. She don't have an arm no more, but she got 30 million.
Well, her name is Lefty. And I mean, but that's how much we put it. And here's the other thing too about the child situation. Let me get focused. When you do have a kid and you do have to pay child support, I think you do have to pay child support. But when the only thing that you're concentrating on is the money, it discourages you from wanting to come around because, damn, I'm on hard times now. Maybe I don't have the money to give. Right. So now that makes that gap even further. What I suggest is make it a point to make sure that it's really about the child, that you get child time in. Right. Even if it's the three-way hug before you leave, where you, the child, and and your girl, if you guys aren't married, if you giving them that, because at the end of the day, that child is the most important thing. Like even with my daughter now, who's 16, we got a great relationship. She actually said, "Dad, I'm glad you didn't get married." Wow. Because all of my friends who parents have now divorced, when they're 12, 13, it's very bad. It's like we actually have a great relationship, but it comes with, for one, owning up to your responsibility as a man. Two, having the help me with this word, not wisdom, but
insight. Foresight.
Experience.
Yes.
Yeah, having the.
That's, ladies and gentlemen, earthquake is in the building.
And I got experience on that shit.
You have to have the experience. You have to experience. I'm sorry. Yeah. You have to have the experience, and then be. I know what it is, maturity, because certain emotional things are going to rise up between you and your partner that you're going to have to be able to deal with.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be able to deal with. Wow, she's pregnant with another
dude,
another guy, they have
baby.
another relationship. You got to be able to rise above that. Like my whole thing was inviting everybody. That's what I do. Like, no, everybody can come.
Yeah.
But my boyfriend too. Yeah, everybody comes.
Just come on.
And it just, I mean, like my past New Year's, everybody was there. All the daughters' mothers, all the mothers. I mean, everybody. My sister, her friend. It was like 50 of us.
Right.
First time we ever did it.
Right.
But after we got the kinks out, you'll attest to it, Ayana. It was. After we got the kinks out, then people sort of loosened up and said, damn, this is like how your parents are. Well, George is coming over with his wife.
Right.
Remember when your parents was like that? How you gonna do that, Mom? Ain't you mad at you? No, I mean, well, she's a good gal.
Right.
That type thing. So that it's a tough thing.
Man.
Earthquake is in the building.
What's happening, baby? How y'all doing out here?
Man, good to have you. 877-210-610 is the number to dial. We got to take a quick break. Listen, tonight's topic, pay-per-view. Do you have to pay to play to see these babies, to see these kids? Are you late on your payments? And is the mother preventing you from seeing the child because of it? Call me. We're ready to do this. I'll see you in a minute. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, ZoWilliams, voice of reason. Foxxhole Radio, Sirius 106, XM 149. Pay-per-view is tonight's topic. Do you got to pay to play to see your kids? Right? Is your visitation based on how current you are on the compensation? They want their money. Somebody call me. 877-210-610 is the number to dial. Listen, are women better custodial parents than men? Somebody call me and let me know. We got Earthquake in the building. We got Jamie Foxx in the building. And, of course, we have attorney at law, Demetria L. Graves.
She's too smart.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I could never go out with you.
Okay.
I'm looking at someone with no esteem. It's too much. That's great. That's great. That's a whole nother show, too, about strong women and how do you
family law.
Family law.
500. Because my divorce, man, I don't go to no more parties because of ex parte. I stayed in ex parte so many times. It was ridiculous. I think being a man, right, especially from the inner city, we have it. I mean, especially when you get some money, you get a different definition when you get into it. Because first, when you was growing up, you was heard a no good father was first a man who didn't acknowledge that was his kid. And then once he didn't acknowledge that it was his kid, he didn't spend no time with him. Money was never the factor. Now it's just strictly about money. And I have been under child support since I've been 23. Wow. So, I got 2 baby mamas and an ex-wife, and they've been holding me down like slavery. So you have to pick the right woman. I could have been Barack if I had Michelle. I always told women I was always one good woman for making it. It's very hard, because I go through this with my son, and when you spend this money, and women, I say when you get in court with a woman, you don't have a chance, because people believe women in court more than they believe Jesus when he was around. I mean, I didn't get that money. They'll just take it. She don't have to show no proof. She don't have to show nothing. Right. And I've been these are personal experiences. But you have to be, as Jamie say, you have to have the maturity and the experience to be able to differentiate between that's your kid and you just going through with the wrong person that you had your kid with. You know? And I call baby mothers now surrogates. They just happen to be the woman that I personally impregnated. So the money is.
Demetrius. Weigh in, Lord.
Demetrius.
Weigh in.
He touched on
You're out of order.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
This whole court is out of order.
And lawyers, and I had one, they sit here and they'll talk to you all, they care about it, and they'll run that bill up because they really, all you're doing is financing an argument. argument.
Right.
And they don't want it to come
financing.
That's all they're doing, financing the argument.
Earthquake.
He didn't do that. I do that. And the letters. And that's $250. When you get $500 an hour.
Earthquake. We got a lawyer right here. You talking about her trade?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Let me see what's cracking here.
What
Demetria.
Lawyers?
Yes.
He spoke on a couple of
Do you
things.
trust lawyers?
Right.
You should.
He spoke on a couple of things that I want you to cover. He talked about gender bias. He didn't call it that, but that's what it is. Can we speak to what he's talking about? When women go in there, it seems like they can do no wrong.
No, I don't think that's true.
It seemed like it. Seemingly, apparently. Come on, talk to us.
What's happening now is the court, and we're speaking specifically to California, they are making a big shift to neutralize the court system. So that now there are a lot more women judges than there are men judges. And a lot of times they are a little more biased towards men because they've had that problem for so long, saying that there was this big gender bias. And also now, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of men are becoming custodial parents, and a lot of women are having to pay child support.
That is true.
And you said custodial parents, mainly boys, right? From 11 to some.
Right. Speaking to my practice specifically, I'm seeing a lot of boys 11 to 16 are going to live with their fathers. And in that predicament, women have to pay child support.
But let me just ask, if a woman is preventing, a woman or a man is preventing the non-custodial parent from seeing their child, is that not a type of abuse? Parental alienation, like you don't get to see your father because I'm mad at him. Or you don't get to see your mother because I'm mad at her. And then you keep that child away. Is that a kind of abuse?
It's fair if you're ordered to pay support. If you don't pay, what is the consequence?
That's true. Jail.
Well, true. If you want to talk about, I mean, you're the lawyer. You know what the consequences are.
I do, but I'm
give me
saying,
your license.
Right.
Let's go to jail. Let's just lock your whole movement down.
That's if it's registered with child support services. If it's not, what is the consequence? So if you don't pay me and it's not with child support services.
So are you justifying?
No, this is what
I'm
going to
That's
say.
not what I'm saying.
Okay. 877-2-106-106 is the number to dial.
I'll go as far as to say this. We're trying to, and especially if we're talking about in urban areas, and I take it there's a little bit more of an urban audience listening to it. We're attacking this problem in sort of the wrong manner, because what it comes down to is it goes all the way to the conversation that I had with a lady about how do we raise our kids to be responsible.
Right.
The unwanted children, children for finance, meaning like if I have enough kids, I'll get more.
Right.
Money for it's like the situations that we have now are so mounted that to have this argument is a tough thing.
Yeah.
Because people who are having kids and don't even know, didn't come together and say, we're going to have like I said, we're going to have a child.
Right.
Most people have children, happenstance.
Pregnancy is happening to them. Right.
It's happening. I'll never get telling my sister the first time when she's 15, I said, you got to work out. I can't feel nothing. And that's what she felt because she was in, she in the hood. It's like, that's what you mean you can't feel it. That's the whole point is to protect yourself. But, and luckily she didn't get pregnant or anything like that. And she lives a great life without children. But those things are hard to deal with when you peel back all those layers and then say, oh, you got to pay child support.
Right.
Well, damn, we weren't even, and it wasn't supposed to, and the this, and then you got another kid from that, and so it's a lot of different things too, because we're not mature as, I say, a people yet, because we haven't allowed ourselves to become mature. When I talk about other issues right now in our community, you would be surprised on the lack of education. Although Earthquake makes jokes about it, but you could tell that he is educated.
Right.
And that's why he's able to joke and answer these questions, eloquently.
Right.
But a lot of these guys and girls, man, it's beyond child support. It's beyond that with us sometimes. And we can discuss it about, when you get into it, when you do use the child. And sometimes we use it in a subtle way. Well, he doesn't want to go with you today.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You're like, well, why does he not want to? Well, I feel something different. Something has changed. You're like, and then you do start playing it like, because you love it. Like when especially because to have a girl, I have girls always love their daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when the little girl runs to the dad, I say, look who she hugging first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be playing, but, at the same time, that thing be cutting because she's like, daddy, So there's a whole lot of layers to it. And then when you talk about the court system, like I just had a young lady who actually had that in reverse happen to her, where she was with this guy. The guy that was the judge was looking at her because she was very hot, very sexy, and it kind of reminded probably him of some girl that turned him down. Mm-hmm. And he ended up, siding with the guy, and she was stuck out there. Right. Kirstie Alley, for example. Because I told Kirstie Alley, I said, you're a dude, because meaning that she makes her own money, just like you. Right. You being a lawyer, you got to set of different services. You got dudes trying to get with you to get the cheese. You know what I'm saying? Right. Correct. Because if I remember when Kirstie Alley had her divorce, her husband ended up taking everything she had.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Let me go to some callers right now. We got 18 Wills from Illinois. Let me hear what you got to say on this topic, brother.
What's going on, Foxxhole?
What up with it, baby?
Hey, man, look here. I love you, Jamie, everything you do. Earthquake, man, keep taking them. Hey, Zoe, love your show. And, attorney, sorry for these words I'm about to say, but fuck California, they ain't got shit on Texas.
Wow. Okay.
I'm supposed to let you know everything.
Let us know everything.
I was with this girl, and we got a child. I got hurt when I had this child. I got hurt offshore. I was out for a whole year. She couldn't take it because I wasn't making no money because I was down, couldn't work, had back surgery and everything. For a whole year, no income coming in. She filed child support on me. Mm-hmm. I got back pay on me for like $12,000. When I got paid off my lawsuit I had, I bought me a house, got married, got me 2 trucks out here on this road. Now she's mad. Now she's getting goddamn $1,400 a month from my ass. Now you know how the economy is right now. That is slow. So the money don't come in like it needs. The court didn't say you need to get paid every week. The court said you get paid every month. So when that check stopped coming in on a certain day, like it was at one time, but it still come in at the end of the month, she gets mad. I can't see the child.
That's not cool. Come on.
When you go to the court and you report this to the people up there in the court and go to court in front of the judge or the mediator, you know what they do? They say, look here, you start paying your child support on time, which I am paying it on time, and nothing happens to that woman at all.
Wow.
Decoration.
Hey, 18 Wills, let me just say this, man. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. I'm here every Thursday. Let's do this. Talk to him. He's obviously in pain, Doc.
Have you tried contempt?
He's gone.
Oh.
But just tell him what he should do.
You can file, I know here in California, again, I can only speak to California. I'm only licensed in California. But there's a process here where you can file contempt. Every time an order is violated, you can go into court and say, hey, court, she violated this order for this many times. If it's over 5 times, if it's over 10 times, that's normally my rule. Over 5 times that we go in. And she can look up to 3 days in jail for each violation. And so I feel like if people start taking initiative and doing something when it starts happening, then it will stop.
So in saying taking initiative, you mean people need to educate themselves, especially if you're engaged in the law.
Absolutely.
You got a case or something. You need to educate yourself on what's going on. Earthquake.
And I feel what you said, and I've been down that situation. But on the other end, you're sitting here, and you also don't want to see your mother be in jail. So you sitting here and you're saying, well, do I really want to see my son seeing his mother incarcerated? So you have to balance this back and forth, and it's not that easy that you can sit down here like the lawyer said, and I'm experienced trying to get a contempt charge on a woman.
Earthquake, the young lady next to me said you should teach her a lesson.
Teach her a lesson. And what's that?
Send her to jail.
Put it this way. The balance is off. It's going to be off. It's the Venus and Mars thing. It is what it is. As a man, I accept that you know what? Look, it's going to be, I got to pay. Put it this way. I got to pay the bill for the dinner. You know what I'm saying? I can't, it ain't no way around it. The only thing we can keep doing is is try to keep things together. That's why as a comedian, it always comes in handy. A good joke, a good joke crack that thing wide open. When I come and she mean and get mad and I say some shit, there you go with that bull. It's so crazy. Go ahead and get her and then y'all be back. You know? Right. And so, but for those guys and girls out there that don't have it, the thing is that it's an emotional maturity, and that's what it is. Right. And in order for us to get to the emotional maturity, there's some issues that we're going to have to attack before we even get to that. We got to attack, and this will be another thing for you, Zoe, that I know you'll knock out the park. We got to attack. How do we get our young women and men to start protecting themselves, and then being able to decide we're going to have the 2.5 children and the wood paneling on the side. Right. Because right now, you know, we out of control with it, and especially when we go to the, to the communities, man. They running with it. It's hip hop, man. It is what it is, and it ain't. There's no balance. Like at least when Earthquake and I were coming up, there was a certain balance. There was a certain thing you feared. And when you take that fear factor away, all these things happen, and then babies happen. And now, when you're saying contempt, I mean, this 18 wheels, I don't know if contempt really rings true to that person who's just, man, I'm on the road doing the best I can right now. So what I would say to 18 wheels, man, is, man, try to tap into that feeling that you had when you first met your girl. Try to tap into that one thing that made you like her, so you can say some things that maybe disarm her a little bit, that gives you a little time. Crack a couple of jokes or do whatever it is that was charming to her, so you can say, you know what, I do recognize you as this guy. We may have done and gone different ways, but maybe. And
Jamie, when that doesn't work, then what?
Huh?
She's not feeling the jokes. She doesn't want you to see the kid, then what?
They sound very lawyer.
Right, they do get.
I understand that, Your Honor, but we have code, and we have. But you know what? You have to believe it. You have to understand that you feel that you'll do anything. My philosophy is, once I made the determination I would do anything for my kid, and there's anything, and that even meant dealing with a woman that I can't stand and put on the facade that I do, then so be it. It's about negotiating with terrorists. You have to come to an agreement and look at it just like he is. He's 18 with it. He doesn't have time to come in, hire a lawyer, put him up there, do the deposition that you knew, and sit down. She did this and this. Then you go into court, and then they sit down here. Did they do this? Then you got to have, if she say I didn't do that, then you got to have a contempt trial. Then you got to come down, sit down in contempt trial, bring all the stuff up, do another decoration on it. See, she laughing because she know I know what I'm talking about. Then it's another one. Then you sit down, you wait. Did it okay?
All the while you lawyers lace your
pockets.
Lace your pockets. $500. You getting a bill right here. They tapping you on the back. We feel how he is, but your retainer done went down a little bit. I'm gonna need another $10 because I had to review the case. On the case. You had to review it. I got one kid with no asset. How much review is you?
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on fire. Foxxhole Radio, Sirius 106, XM 149. We're about to take another quick break. Jamie Foxx, Earthquake, lawyer, attorney, Demetria L. Graves, ZoWilliams.
We appreciate you.
We're in the building. We'll see you in a second. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, ZoWilliams has returned to the Foxxhole. We're talking about pay-per-view, right? Child visitation. Does your child's visitation, does it rest on your ability to be current and consistent with the compensation? Somebody call me. Do you have to pay to play? 877-2-106-106 is the number to dial. We're going to callers right now. D from Texas, talk to me.
Hello?
Yeah, you here, bruh?
Yeah, what's going on, Foxxhole? What's going on, Jamie? Matter of fact, I just left your hometown at the truck stop over there.
Okay, well, he stepped out for a second, D, but still, talk to us about what's going on with you.
Yeah, well, I'm from Texas, and brother from Sego, he was right. Texas is a hard state when you get on this child support. When you get in these crosshairs in this Greg Abbott, the attorney general down here, it's hard to get out. I mean, my baby mama, I love her still. She's a great mother. I mean, but she will get bitter. She's bitter like buttermilk. I mean, I'm my child support. First time in 12 years, I receive an income tax. She asked me, where's my money? I said, your money? I'm current. You get your money every month. She want to go to the Attorney General and say, we need an increase. So now I'm paying $618 for one kid. I drive trucks too. I mean, I'm a blue collar worker, and the economy is low. But I still do.
But do you find that if you're not current, she'll prevent you from seeing the child?
Oh, she has. Well, she moved from our hometown with my son when he was 5 years old. He's 12 now. For 6 months. 6 months, I didn't hear from my son. I didn't get to talk to my son. I didn't know where they was at. I had to write a letter and mail it through the child support to get in contact with my son. Threatening to go through a lawyer because I've been there since day one. When we was married, Texas got a law that you can go back from age 0. Like I got put on child support when my son was 2. She went back from age 0 while we was living in the same house. Knowing I've been there for my son. Knowing I done did everything for my son that our daddy's supposed to do. Financially and just being a dad for his kids. And I brought receipts. I brought everything to the child support. The mediator said, oh, we don't even want to see none of that. I said, what? Then this last time when I got increased, the mediator said, we set on a figure for $400 a month. And then the mediator said, you know we could get him for $618 by what he do. I said, I don't got a baby by you, bitch.
Oh, okay, settle down.
I mean, I don't have a baby by you.
I feel you, Pam. I feel you. Bitterclub.com.
You in my pocket.
Bitterbrother.com. Come join the movement.
D, I appreciate the call, man. I got to move on. There's so many callers trying to get in. Jay, North Carolina, you're in the voice of reason. I need to hear from you. Let's talk.
Hey, what up, Zoe, Jamie, Earthquake, and Counselor? Hey, look. Hey, I think Jamie always says, let's get focused, but let's get refocused. Hey, look, man, what we're doing, I love my black people. And we as black fathers, I'm a father. I have 4 children. And I've never paid a dime of child support because I'm still with my wife. But when these men go out here and have these babies by these women, and they have no intention of staying with these women, that was the first mistake. Now, what's happening is this. They're having these babies out of wedlock. They're not married, right? And they got these children, and then they don't step up to the plate and take care of these children and do right by the mother. Now, it takes more than money to raise a child. It's not just money. What they need to do, these brothers out here, they need to show emotional support. They need to give the child an education. They need to be there for that child, to rear the child. A lot of times I go out here on Saturday mornings, and I see my Caucasian friends out here with their sons. They're up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning out playing T-ball, baseball, or whatever. But the black kids are still in the bed at 12 o'clock. And see, that's the problem. That's the problem with these fathers out here. Because the father is the one that makes the difference. It ain't the mother, it's the father. Everybody thinks it's the mama. You get these NFL players on TV, they always talking about hi, mom. But it's the father that makes the difference.
So,
the mother has a role, and she does her thing, but the father makes the difference.
Appreciate it, Jay. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call, man. That was good information. Let me move quickly. Rose, California. Talk to me. What's going on?
Well, I agree with Jamie, like you say in the very beginning. Well, hi, everybody. These people, not these people, I'm an African-American woman, but the thing of it is, I'm 38. My mama scared me into the point that I wasn't having no babies at 15. I don't understand why anybody is using condoms. It's just bad. But, I'm lucky enough. I'm married. I got 2.5 kids and everything. But the one question I had about the gentleman that called at the very beginning, when he was on disability, who was paying for the kids? Somebody got to pay for these kids. I'm not saying that there are trifling women out there, because there are.
But that's what we need to deal with. It seems like everybody focuses on the man is trifling. We are right now pointing out a situation. Thank you, Rose, for the call. I appreciate it. We are pointing out a situation that it seems like whenever you call women to the table, accountability is really difficult to get them to step up and say, you know what? I want to hear from the woman that's saying, there's a man out there doing this to me. 8772-106-106 is the number to dial. I want to hear from the sister or the white woman or the Asian woman that says, you know what? I'm late on my child support to the father of my kid, and he is preventing me from seeing the child. Now, I'm going to tell you, if the shoe was on the other foot and this was happening in the same proportion that it's happening to men, if it was happening to women, this would be a national outcry. It would be a problem. It would be like the civil rights movement. Yep. Am I lying?
Man, it would, man.
So we need to, for real, ladies.
It'll pass quicker than Obama.
You guys got to call me and step up on this right here, because y'all quick to say, men, step up. Men, you supposed to do this. And a man is supposed to do this, and he's responsible, and blah, blah, blah. You got to be responsible for some of the foul things that are happening, too. And we want to hear from you. 877-210-6106. That's the number to dial. JoJo, Compton, holla.
What up, Zoe, Quake, everybody, counselor? Yeah, I got some shit for your lips. You feel me? I got child support on me. There's a bro saying, oh, the baby looks just like you. My cousin, my auntie and them, oh yeah, this your baby. I'm like, this ain't my fucking baby. They filed child support on me and shit and take my CDL license in California. Take my shit, took me to court, taking PhDs and contractor license and shit.
And let me
JoJo,
wait.
And JoJo, did you get a paternity test? Instead of
hold on. I'm trying to get to the thick of that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Look, they take my shit after about 6-8 months. I want my shit back. They tell me you come to court, you take a chance, you find if the baby is yours, then we sending you to jail for 6 months, and every time you miss a payment, you're going to have to go to jail for 6 months out of the year, and when you get out, you got to pay. I take the test, baby, not mine. They still garnish my shit. Took my money from me, man.
Come on.
Hey, that's on everything, homeboy. They still was garnishing me. I got a crooked-ass counselor sitting there telling me, yeah, look.
Come on.
That's the key, man.
Hey, on everything, man.
Wow.
They told me, I made a payment, dog. They told me, you acted like you was the father. So we're going to hold you responsible for this child till she's 18. I said, you out your damn mind.
But you know what? That goes, hey, JoJo, let me just say this. Thanks for the call, brother. I appreciate it. That goes back to, Gray Davis. Remember what Gray Davis' policy was in California when he was the governor of California? The bottom line is, it's about the payment. Gil Garcetti was on that too. It's about
to a certain extent,
paying.
I know. In child support, if you object to it, if you get the papers in the mail and you say no, and you file your answer that says I am not the father, they will provide for you a paternity test. And if you're not the father, you're not the father. They do not impose that on you.
But you got to respond in a certain amount of time, because if you don't, you are assumed right off the top, and it don't matter what goes down.
Right,
correct?
even if you respond later, because 80% of litigants nowadays are self-represented. So they do understand that. So when you do get word of it, the documents are very specific on what you need to do to ensure that you're not paying on a child that's not yours.
Right. And I agree. We got to take another quick break. But I'm really curious to hear from the women. Come on, talk to me. This is about, using the kid as a pawn. You're not getting the money the way you want it on time. It's not there on time, so you use the kid as a pawn. We want to talk about this. Now. Call me, 877-2-106-106. That's the number to dial. I'll be back in a second. Peace. Yo, Foxxhole Radio. You heard the intro. Voice of reason. Yo, if you want to tweet me right now, you got questions, you got comments, at ZoWilliams. Or you can do at Foxxhole. And just tweet and let me know what you think, and I'll read it off right now. Chameleon 007. I'ma holla at you in a second too. We got callers on the phone. The number to dial to get involved in the pay-per-view conversation. Yo, man, if you're late on the compensation, does that hinder your visitation? Call me. 877-2-106-106. That's the number to dial. Jennifer, Ohio. What's happening?
Hello.
Hey, we're here.
Hey, everybody. I kind of have a totally different take than everybody else does on this situation. First off, I don't think that the government should have any right to say how much a person should have to pay in order to raise that child?
On. Yes, come on. Let's hear this. I'm interested.
Well, I just don't think that it's not their place to say in this household who should pay more or who should pay less. Now, I've got many friends that have children or whatnot. I personally don't. And I look at them like there's this one girl I know, seriously, she has these kids and doesn't have any idea of staying with this person, and then she hits them up for child support. I cannot stand people like that. I don't think that that's right. I think that if you have a child, you have that child. It was your decision to make the child. It was your decision to keep the child. So why are you going to sit here and if you don't want nothing to do with this man?
Jennifer, and I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is men get women pregnant, but women have babies. They decide to have it.
It takes two people to do this. It's not just a one-man. It's not a one-man show. I mean, and people might think that I'm wrong for saying it or whatever, but they kiss my ass. I don't.
But my producer told me to tell you, Jennifer, it's easy for you to say because you don't have kids.
Well, Jennifer, how would we calculate support if the government doesn't tell us?
But it should be a set rate.
Right, but how do we well, let Jennifer tell us how she would calculate support.
But okay, they calculate it by based on what the income is of whatever spouse it is, by whatever the woman or the man makes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a person makes $800 a week, they're going to take $300 out of that because they feel that that's sufficient enough to raise a child. Okay? Now, how is that possible when my father, I grew up with my dad in the home or whatnot. He was never there, but he always paid for everything.
Well, let me ask you this. Did your mother prevent you from seeing your dad? Did your mother prevent you, like if he wasn't current on his payment, did your mother prevent him from participating in your life?
No, and I don't agree with any woman that does. Don't hold a child over a man's head.
But does this not happen? Jennifer, do you have stories or do you have knowledge of women doing just that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Do you have knowledge of men doing that to women?
As a matter of fact, right now, a very good friend of mine is going through a child custody battle with the mother. The mother wants the kids back, but he's more of a financial fit, even though she would be a much better candidate, but he won't allow her to see the children.
Okay.
Because he thinks that by living in this big house, this man is unemployed. He gets a child. She has to pay him. He's unemployed, and he gets what's it called, unemployment. How are you a better fit parent for these children?
Well, again,
because you've
let me just, Jennifer, and you know what, Jennifer, I appreciate the call. Thank you. We got so many people lined up. She's making some good points. At the end of the day, there are women out there who use their womb as an ATM machine.
I think
let's pump out a baby, and let's make sure we get paid for this situation. To me, that's not in the best interest of the child. Why would you bring a child here and you're poorly educated? Why would you bring a child here and you don't have a good job? Well, it just felt right. I counsel people all the time, relationships. Why did you get in this relationship with this person? Because it felt right. Just because it feels right doesn't mean it's right for you. Just because something feels good to you doesn't mean it is good for you to do. So, I mean, how do you put that on? And I'm not saying, it's spilled milk. But at the end of the day, the two got to come together for the best interest of the child. And what Jamie spoke of earlier about maturity, first off, the system, the government apparatus is like a meat grinder on relationships when you're dealing with people who don't have the adequate tools to be in a functioning relationship, a good relationship. Most people find out how flawed their situation is when they get into the judicial system.
Well, the court is only for people that cannot work it out on their own. Mm. And so if you can sit down and say, I'm going to give you $500 a month, and she's okay with that, even though you should be giving her $2,500 a month, the court is not going to interfere with that.
What you mean you should give her 25?
But I'm saying if the court was going to order you, if the court was going to order you to pay that, but she agrees to take something less.
But I understand what she's trying to say, and we still have a fundamental different agreement of philosophy here. If you have, what is the set rate to take care of a kid? You have one person, which I pay $5,000 a month.
Well, Nas pays $51,000 a month. Really?
Support.
Really?
So.
Come on.
Really?
Seriously?
I mean, and you got another kid who's got another baby father. He only paying $200 a month, but both of them live in the same house. How I get the $5,000 kid?
Well, your finances are different.
No, but it shouldn't. Finance should not be based.
What is the baseline
Then
cost?
what do you base it on?
But what is the baseline cost?
Why do it have to be based on money?
Then what is it based on?
It should be not based on, even though we live in a capitalistic society, that is unhumane that you basing that I have to give her more money because of my success of me financially.
But see, let me say something here.
That's morally
and,
right.
and let me say something here.
Right.
Well, no, it's not morally right. It's not morally right. But let me say this here. I know women who have attacked men, good fathers, dudes that, although they might not be the 9-to-5 kind of guy, but they got dreams, they got goals, they have ambition, they have a direction, they have a focus, and they care about their kids. They're invested in their kids' lives emotionally, empathetically, psychologically, and they've been called deadbeat dads because they don't have a job.
Okay, but it costs to raise kids, right?
Sure,
it costs to raise kids.
No, I'm not saying that it doesn't.
Are you saying it's her responsibility then to financially provide because he has dreams and ambition?
No, I'm saying it's their responsibility, but I think it's more damaging to a child for a mother to belittle the father. I think if she came in and said, listen, we are both struggling, so let's pool our resources for the betterment of this child and this family. Now, we don't have to be together. We don't have to be married. We don't have to do any of that. Or if we're going to stay together, let's do that. But the point is to constantly rip the dude down and you know, especially when he's a good guy.
But okay, he has dreams and ambitions. Does he have a job? Because how are you going to pull resources if he's not working?
Well, and there are many ways to do it. Maybe you don't have a 9-to-5. Maybe you get a graveyard shift job. So in the daytime you can work on your dream and your ambition, but then at night, you know, you do whatever. Maybe you got to burn the candle on both ends. But there are dudes out there doing that and still being ripped apart. To me, that's whack. And I'm sure there's men out there doing it to women too. There are men probably in a better financial situation. But this is why I say don't get married before you're ready.
No, listen, before you're married.
Before you're married. Don't get married before you're ready. Don't get married before you live the life you want to live. Correct. Don't engage in a relationship, a committed relationship, if you, don't know who you are, because when a baby comes in, all the traditional norms take place. Hey, traditionally, this is what a man is supposed to do. Hey, traditionally, this is we're supposed to be walking this walk now. And you fall right into a social template of expectations. This is what normal people do when this happens. And guess what? You find yourself in a prison in more ways than one.
No, I agree with you.
For me, women should not put the emphasis solely on financial support. They should put it on emotional support, psychological support, spiritual support, and then on top of that, never use the child as a pawn.
No, I agree. But what happens when she's struggling financially too? What happens? What do we do?
Listen, there are many ways to make money. You can get a job. I'm not saying don't get a job. I'm not an advocate of the dude sitting on the couch with a bowl of cereal trying to give the kids, you know, deep philosophical jewels. I'm not saying that. Right. I'm saying in the process of a person, not just a man, but of a person trying to figure out who and what they are and what their course is and what their path is. If you have a baby during that time, right? The best way to keep this family together and not be on adversarial terms is to work together, whatever that may be, whatever y'all agree on. If that's, hey dude, you take the AM PM job and I'll do school in the morning, and you understand what I'm saying? I watch the baby at night. While you're at AM PM, you watch the baby at the daytime while I'm at school. Whatever the agreement is, you guys got to work together. But what happens is, and you know this better than most, lawyers are trained to win for their clients.
Correct.
They're not trained to get a fair, equal balance for everybody. They're trained, you win. That's why a lot of mediators are being called in, because the mediator will say, hey, let's get a win-win situation for everybody. Lawyers are, no, I'm your attorney, you're my client, and I'm going to get the best for you.
Not necessarily, because I tell my clients all the time, it's always better to have an agreement that the two of you come up with than have somebody that doesn't know you tell you this is what you're going to do.
Well,
that's what I do.
Well, but for me, what's happening is we're still not addressing the issue of parental alienation. And you know it happens with women more so than with men.
I can't say that. Like
Come on now.
I can't say
Come
that.
on.
I cannot say that.
What?
That's my opinion. You guys asked me for my opinion. And I'm
That's what it is.
Perjury.
She is an officer of the court. She cannot go against the status quo. We're about to take a break. Pay-per-view. Damn, listen, do you have to come out your pocket to kick it with your son, to take your son to Johnny Rockets? Do you have to? Do you have to? Could you also give your son emotional food, psychological food, support, motivation? Isn't that kind of currency as valuable as financial currency? Somebody call me and tell me. 877-2-106-106 is the number to dial. Voice of Reason, Foxxhole Radio, Sirius 106, XM 149, taking a break. Wow, pay-per-view. Do women make better custodial parents than fathers? I don't know. Somebody call me, 877-2-106-106. That's the number to dial. ZoWilliams, Voice of Reason, Foxxhole Radio, pay-per-view. Compensation over visitation. You better be current or it ain't cracking. And just like someone else pointed out to me right now, you know why parental alienation is going down in most cases. I'm mad that we ain't together.
I mean,
I'm going to use I'm hot. You know, I wanted to be with you. I'm still hurt. I'm still angry that you left or that you cheated or that you didn't live up to the expectation I had for you. 877-2-106-106. That's the number to dial. Pay-per-view is the topic.
But so quickly, family law is emotions. If people could sit down and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, I wouldn't be employed. And so a lot of times, a lot of people do need to see therapists or someone to work through their issues, a best friend, somebody. Because otherwise, it's emotion.
True. Stephon, Atlanta, Voice of Reason, talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, though?
What up?
Hey, much, man. I know you were talking about the flip side of it. What if the man has the child and prevent the woman from seeing?
Right.
And I wanted to give you that perspective because that's actually what I'm on that side.
Wow.
Yeah, because the thing is, I've been on both sides. Half the child life, it was the other way around. This time around, it's the other way. Just today, it's funny that you bring this up. I did it today because she was short $3.21. I said,
no.
Wait, no. But who does that help?
Okay.
Who
Why
does
would you
that
do
help?
that? Why?
Because, and I'm going to tell you why, because all the things that I went through and everything, and then I look at it, like the woman said about how can you put a thing on finances, and people should talk and get together and do all that. But at the end of the day, from a fiscal standpoint, it doesn't benefit a woman to be with you. Because look at it.
See, Stephon, you just made this about you.
Yeah, this ain't got nothing to do with you.
About you, and now your child did not get to see mom because you're mad over $3.
No, it's the principle of it all.
The principle.
Oh,
okay.
You got principles.
Okay.
Well, this is a bad principle, and I'm gonna tell you how. And I appreciate you for calling out. But let me just say this, man. A battery is positively and negatively charged, right? There's a masculine side of the battery and there's a feminine side of the battery. And they're equally matched. If you don't have a positive and negative charge for a battery, it doesn't work. Same principle applies to raising kids. A lot of times we ask questions that are imbalanced, like, do women make better custodial parents than men? But the truth of the matter is, a child needs both their mother and their father to grow up properly. There are, let me just say this, 23 chromosomes from a man, 23 chromosomes from a woman, okay? Look at those chromosomes as chapters in a book. If a woman is preventing a man from seeing his child, she is preventing him from studying 23 chapters of a book that he needs to read to understand himself better, and vice versa. So if this is going down while we trying to raise these kids, I don't care if it's a man doing it to a woman or a woman doing it to a man. The bottom line is it's wrong, not for the individuals perpetuating this type of behavior. It's wrong for the kid. The kid, listen, you know good and well that little girls are affected when they grow up without daddy. And they're affected in different ways than little boys are. We all know this. 877-2-106-106 is the number to dial. Stop calling in here with that corn. That was cornball right there. She was just short $3, and it's the principal. He sounds like a barbarian. All he needs is a shave or something. I don't want to hear it. Reggie, Texas, talk to me, man.
Oh, man, how y'all doing? I'm so glad you opened this subject up for conversation, man. I pay my child support, and my ex-wife took my little girl out of the country. I've talked to people from senator's office. I called Sheila Jackson Lee. I live in Texas. No one will help. It's a messed up situation all the way around.
Yeah, and I believe you. Reggie, I appreciate the call. Again, are you listening to what's going on? Now, homeboy who just called was not Reggie, but Stefan, who called from Atlanta. He was out of pocket, right? We already know that. He was out of pocket. But back to the subject. I'm telling you, the majority of the callers tonight have been men talking about the child support, how it abused their rights to some degree, talking about how the mothers of their children have prevented them from seeing their kids based off of being late on the money. A brother from Facebook reached out to me and said, man, I got both my sons, but his mother has been late on everything. Birthdays, promises, ain't lived up to nothing. Been late on the money, and the court system keeps giving her a pass. He said, and at the same time, he's been in the courtroom and he's seen men go to jail for being late for $95. Let's go to jail, homie. Let's go right to jail. Patrick, North Carolina, talk. Patrick? Okay, no Patrick. Chris, Houston, holla at me.
I got a couple of comments. The first comment is when the young lady stated that the attorney stated that if it's more money, why? Well, why couldn't she say it was less? In my situation, I was paying my ex more than she's getting now. She ended up taking me to court and ended up getting $388. Well, she still don't allow me to see my kids, and I've gotten to the point now that I'm not worried about it. I put it in God's hands. Because when those kids get older, they're going to come see me. But at the same time, I agree that they need to be a part of both parents' life. Well, people don't realize they want to talk about the money and about the mother and about the father not doing this. But the biggest victims in this is the kids.
Right. 100%. I agree with you. Chris from Houston, talk to me. Oh, I'm sorry. Big Zo, North Carolina, talk to me. Oh, wow. Good. Big Zo. I'm the only Zo up in here. So, Kathy, Florida, let me hear you on this.
Hello?
Yeah, you here.
Okay, hello, Jamie Foxx.
Fox is not here, honey.
Okay, I just wanted to say I have a fiance, and I have a son, and he has a son. And he takes care of his son. He pays his child support while the mother has 4 different kids, 4 baby daddies. And all she do is rely on these child support checks. I don't think it's right for any father to have to go out there and break their neck 100% while mothers sit at home, while a good mother like me have to go to work from 8 to 4 o'clock every day to take care of their child. So I agree with these fathers that they doing what they supposed to do. They're not neglecting their kids, not all of them, because he takes care of his son and takes care of my son at the same time, while she just living off the check. And we asked to get him from her because she don't take care of him the right way. She neglect this child. The child go around hungry.
Right, but she's not going. No, she's not going to give that kid up. You know why? That kid is a bargaining chip. That kid is not, hey,
collateral.
Listen, if it's a little boy, let's be honest. If it's a little boy, thank you for the call, Kathy. If it's a little boy, think about it. At a certain age, boys disconnect from mama anyway. So if they're going to be led the right way, they need that masculine energy to be able to say, yo, 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 hold on, homie. You don't get to, because, again, I got a 13-year-old boy. And whenever I'm not around, whenever I leave the house, his mother will call me and say, your boy's acting up. He'll wait until I leave. Because he knows when I'm there, it ain't going down. It ain't going down. So all I'm saying is, why wouldn't a mother want to have that energy, that backup plan when the boy is not acting right? Why would you let your jealousy and your resentment and your hatred and ultimately your disrespect and disdain for the father prevent you from keeping the lines of communication of that relationship open? Father-son, father-daughter. 877-2-106-106. That's the number to dial. Troy, Connecticut, talk.
I had a question. This is a comment for a young man that said about making babies and not marrying these women. First of all, when you have intentions to marry a woman and she's doing good by you, and once you get that baby, it's like she turned into carrier somebody, and all hell breaks loose. Then all is about is money. You understand what I'm saying? And I went to court. I've been paying child support, never been late. And before I was ordered to pay child support, I always gave her money, gave it to her cash, and I started giving it to her money order or check because she took me to court. Judge said he would give me credit for every dime that I could prove that I paid her in child support. When it came down to go to court, I bought $48,000 worth of money orders and checks down there. He did not give me 1 ounce of credit. I had to wind up paying $7,500 in rearage, and I had to pay back whatever money she got from the state.
Wow. See that?
You understand?
See that? You see that? Come on, man. Troy, I appreciate the call. Come on. That don't count for nothing. And
it does count for something. In most cases, if you can show that you did pay during
he just said he showed $48,000.
Sometimes it might be out of the specific time that we're talking about. I know here in California, if you file for support today and you have a hearing next year, you only get money for that time period. So if you pay before that time period, it doesn't count.
Wow. I mean, come on. How does that don't count? Listen, that bothers me. That just bothers me. I got a friend who paid for years child support to a woman. Come to find out the kid is not his. Did the DNA test, did the whole 9 yards, and because of a legal snafu, you don't get your money back. Thanks, but no thanks. To me, that's whack. And then on top of that, I'm going to keep you from seeing the child because you late? To me, come on, it's a power move, and we got to be honest with it. If men do it to women, like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, men would be vilified as Lucifer himself if we did that to women. If we did that to women, it would be, like I said, it would be a new civil rights movement. We're about to take a quick break. Tim, the trucker, Louisiana, hold tight. Theta, California, hold tight. Thomasina, California, hold tight. And Tanya, Michigan, hold tight. I'm going to get to you. Voice of Reason, pay-per-view. You better pay this money or you will not be visiting. That's just the bottom line. Somebody holler at me. 877-2-106-106. That's the number to dial. ZoWilliams, Voice of Reason, Foxxhole Radio. I'll holler. My son calls another man daddy. You know, I like to find records that fit the topic. This is crazy, right? I've got a new dude, and I like him better than you, and he has more access to your son than you do. And besides, you're late on your child support payments. If you were current, maybe we could talk. I've heard that conversation. I've counseled people who've said these kind of things. Somebody talk to me. 877-2-106-106. That's the number to dial. Pay-per-view. Let me talk to my attorney, my counselor here. Let's talk to counsel. Approach the bench. What advice do you have for the caller a few calls back who said the woman took his child out of the country without his permission? What kind of advice would you offer him?
This is always a complicated issue because we are dealing with another country, but the United States is part of what we call the Hague Convention. And what happens is the United States signed treaties with most countries, I think with the exception of maybe Mexico, that says, okay, if this situation happens and it's verified that she's not supposed to be out of the country, that country will work with you to make sure that child is returned back to the U.S. And unfortunately, for those situations, you pretty much do need an attorney in your state to help you with that because it is a very complicated issue.
Or it's not going down. Yeah, you could do it.
But you can do it.
Okay, Tim the Trucker, Louisiana. Holla at me, man.
What's going on, Zoe? First, I want to say I love what you do, man, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank you, man.
It's all good, homie.
What I want to say to the brothers out there is you have to humble yourself. The first thing you need to do is learn the characteristics of a woman.
That's going to be hard.
That's what I'm saying, because they're unstable, and that can happen at any moment.
Wow.
I have 4 brothers. 3 of us pay child support. 2 of us pay through a court system. I worked it out with my ex-wife, and how I did that was by being humble. I don't come around her trying to be fresh and dressed up and all that kind of stuff.
You're hiding your assets?
Right. Yeah, absolutely, you have to do that. Because when they see that, it's all about money. If a woman is telling you can't see your child because you didn't give her the money, that's about control.
Yes, yes, yes.
See, some women want to have that control over a man, so that's why they get pregnant in the first place.
But wait, let me say this in defense of some women. Some women will prevent a father from seeing their child because that father might be abusive. He might be disrespectful. He might be shiftless, trifling, and no good. So I guess in some cases, it might be beneficial for her to say, you know what, you're not good for the kid. But if it's done solely and strictly from the space of you late with the money, and behind that is the motive of I'm still mad at you, then we in trouble. Tim, I appreciate the call. Theta, California. Talk to me. It could be Theta. It could be Theta. You tell me.
Theta.
Talk to me, Theta.
So how you doing tonight? This is Theta. I want to talk about, guys and child support. My oldest daughter is 23, and when I was a single parent at the age of 22, and I chose not to put her father on child support because I felt that it would be more meaningful for her to have a father out of jail than in jail. Now, as far as our relationship in the 23 years, it wasn't perfect, but I made sure that he saw her for every holiday, every time I could get a chance, and we lived in different states. So it wasn't about him paying me to see his child. It was about him being a father to his child. And I can say for myself today, we had bad times, good times, but today he respects me for the choices that I made in the process because, he got other baby mama drama, you see. And so he respects the fact that I allow for him to be a father, no matter how our relationship, because there were times we didn't even talk. It didn't matter. He still talked to his child.
Right.
So I think that women got to, they got to stop playing those games with the kids, because you can see what kind of generation we're coming up with now.
Exactly. I appreciate the call, Theta. Thank you for reaching out. Thomasina, California, it's your time. Talk to me.
Real quick, just to follow on what your last caller just said, my ex-husband and I, he is allowed to see his children whenever, however long, and there's no stipulations, there's no strings attached to it, because what's most important is that his children, the 3 boys that we have a father. They have someone there that they can talk to, they can rely on for whatever the situation may be. I also know his financial situation, being that he's a part-time student right now. He's a full-time student. He's working part-time, so his financial situation is dire. He needs just about every penny. That's not to say that his children can't use 1 or 2 of those shiny pennies every now and then. But it's more important for him just to be a father to them than anything else.
And to me, being a father does require providing. There is a provision aspect to what it means to be a father. But provision can come in many different forms and not just financial. And sometimes if the mother is making more money, or the mother is making enough money to sustain, and the father has other kinds of currency, that ain't a bad thing either. Until the dude gets on his feet or whatever it is he's trying to do, he might have currency in other form. But I think in this capitalist society, the bottom line is you got to pay to play. Tanya, Michigan, talk.
Hi, I just want to say I love your show.
Thank you.
And my thing was, my daughter's father was in prison. And when he got out of prison, the court ordered him to pay $40 a week for child support, which I really wasn't impressed about. I said, I'd rather for you to have the QT time with him because you've been gone for so long. He couldn't pay the money. He couldn't spend the QT time with him, but yet he would come around and flossing, driving brand new cars, doing this and that and the other. So eventually I just had to say, you know what, you can't even see him no more because...
And he's trifling. Like, I'm with you. I got your back. If the dude is shiftless, if he's spending more money on his shoelaces than he is on the kids, I'm not angry with that. I'm not upset. I'm not adverse to a woman saying, you know what, dude, these children, our children, are a priority, and you don't have them, you know, at a high enough priority in your life. If the shoes on your car are nicer than the shoes on your kids' feet, then we've got an issue. And I'm not upset with that. What I am upset is when the child support system is used as a weapon. You know, to me, when you alienate a child from another parent because you've got unresolved relationship issues, that's child abuse. Kathy, Los Angeles, talk.
Doing though, come up with some great points. But let me tell you, I have 5 brothers, and one of them that I thought was truly trifling because his girl makes a lot more money than he does. They have 2 boys. And she was like, go to school, do something. He wanted to be a little hustler. But one thing, these 2 boys, where I tell you, her job, she's away 5 days a week, home 2 days. So he's mainly there. If he was to get a job, they would have to take care of whatever. So what he did when she kicked him out because she makes all the money, he went and got on the county, filed for Section 8, got Section 8, took his boys with him. She had to pay them child support.
Right, go get on the county and protect yourself. Isn't that? Come on. Let's do the hood. Let's do the hood version. I got homies who go right and get on GR.
But that's what a woman to do. That's what he told me. See? I have one brother who don't pay child support. Then running, got caught, went to jail. He told him, I don't have a job. I don't know when I'm gonna get one. They made him pay $1 a week for a child.
Really?
3 kids, $3 a week, and that fool didn't do it.
Wow. I'm sure there's some horror stories out there. Come on, keep telling me.
What I wanted to ask you was, if they flip, if you don't see your kids, you got to pay, how would it be? If you had to spend time with them instead of do child support.
To me, that's a dope kind of child support.
Flip it.
Yeah, and not just financial, but
some type. But a lot of men would rather pay than spend time.
That's what I'm saying. Time is a currency. And for me, not just I'm here, not just I'm a statue in the corner. No, quality time. Time where you develop a rapport. To me, that currency is more valuable than just financial currency.
To you, but some people will say, you know, I don't want to do that. I'm going to pay.
Right, and the kids grow up hating one of the parents. Ray from Nevada, thanks. Don't listen to the lawyer. Talk to me.
I just wanted to say I appreciate what you guys are doing and what you're talking about, and it kind of feels good to know that other people are going through it, because sometimes you think you're going through it by yourself. But I'm in a situation, too, where I have a son who's getting ready to was getting ready to graduate from high school, and the mom has abused the son. My son has talked down to him, and every time he gets in a bind, he's calling me, you know, and I try to reason with the mom, try to be humble, say, hey, will you send my son out here? Because I can teach him how to be a man.
I will not. I will not forfeit the king on the chessboard. I will not.
Right, and the thing is, my son yesterday, and this is a true story, got kicked out of high school 2 months before he's supposed to graduate from high school because of he has aggression towards his mom. You know, when I've gone to Phoenix to visit my son, at a basketball tournament, I had to get in front of him for keeping him from hitting his mom because he has so much resentment. But the mom still will not send my son out here.
No, she's not going to do it. She's not going to do it. Brother, I thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Stefani, last call, St. Louis. Talk to me.
I'm coming actually from a daughter's perspective, and to me, I'm hearing like a lot of callers talk about, oh, I pay child support and I don't appreciate the mother doing this. Well, I kind of feel like, first off, this has like a lot to do with like social statuses and stuff like that, the age of the couple when you all first had a child. First, I feel like you should know the woman that you had a child by, and if it wasn't the right woman, then you shouldn't have created that situation. And I know I dealt with a lot of things with my father and child support. I don't agree with my father stepping to me and saying, well, Stephanie, I pay child support, so you and your mother should feel like I'm doing this, and y'all should feel like I'm doing that. I don't agree with that. I want quality time. I want somebody who I can call, and he knows the same things that my mother knows. He should know my favorite color. He should know everything about me just as she does. He should want that passionate connection that a daughter and a father should have together. Just saying, oh, I pay child support, so I want some credit, it doesn't move me. It doesn't shake me. I don't think that should mean anything. And you fathers out here are saying, oh, I want the mother to do this, and she's being this to my son or to my daughter. Well, if you didn't pay child support, would you just give money by yourself, or would you just take that quality time to spend with your child? Like, would you really step up and be the man that you're claiming to be? Because a lot of fathers wouldn't. And I think this is the excuse that black men give all the time. I pay child support. So what? You're being court ordered to do that. Don't make me feel like I should give you any kind of compassion because you do. Because you're being forced to do that. You're not coming out of your heart and saying, oh, Stephanie, I feel like, well, you know what? You worked hard on your grades. Let me give you $100, or let me do this. Because I work hard. I'm a college student.
Come on, Stephanie.
Everything I have.
Thank you so much for the call. If y'all didn't hear her passion, you're not listening to the black hole of radio. Once you tune in, you cannot pull away. Thank you, Stephanie, for that call. We appreciate it. We've got a wrap. And as my producer tells me again, every woman you have sex with is potentially your next baby mama. Somebody better be careful out there. 877-210-6106. That was the number. ZoWilliams, voice of reason. I want to thank my guest. She was great. I want to thank Jamie Foxx, of course. He surprised us. Earthquake surprised us, came in here. But my guest, Demetria L. Graves. Will you tell people where they can find you really quickly?
Yes, www.attorneygraves.com.
And again, we need to do this show again because people are so passionate about what's happening. Listen, currency ain't just cash. It's emotional currency. What's your emotional IQ? And how's that going to translate as a father or a mother? What's your mental IQ? And how is that going to translate as a parent? We need to develop these kinds of currencies if we want to raise meaningful children. It ain't just about the dough, y'all. Contact me, ZoSirius-radio.com. And I want to hear from you. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you next week. Peace.